Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fancy Rugby Games. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
Let's get into it. Lots to cover, news cycle and all, and plenty of internationals to dig into as well. So
News dropping constantly. Yeah,
news was all over the place, man. Yeah, gonna need a drink or three.
Mm-hmm.
Find us where you download your favorite podcast app. That's the words. God damn, I'm already off to a great start. Download, rate, review as always. You welcome the feedback, good, positive, or indifferent. Buy our friend George the Fancy Rugby Geek coffee because, as we've said before, not only is he a great guy, he's also been a huge supporter of us, and also because if you're listening to us and the information that comes out of our faces, then he's got a pretty good thing to do with it. So
yeah.
Grab that.
He's like our Obi-Wan in many ways. So we're obviously always going to support the geek.
Yes. TRM upgrades. We are not obviously in TRM time right now, but it's only a little more than a week away. So
yeah. And if you have your upgrades, one thing we haven't mentioned with these upgrades is that you know who's on bye. It hasn't been a thing in previous years, but now with bye weeks being a thing, I already know, my Leicester players are on bye because they have the little yellow circles next to them. Don't have to think about it. I can be like, okay, that person don't put George Ford in.
Yeah, can't play that this week.
He currently plays for Leicester and they're on bye.
Yeah, can't put in Nick Dolly right now.
No.
So yeah, grab those and then obviously you support.
I'm fucked.
Yeah, I went through. I had if it falls right, I'm actually okay. I'll probably have to make one or two changes.
Well, it depends, I guess, on Jamie George's injury because I have Wollstonecroft. Dolly and Wollstonecroft are my only two hookers.
You might be okay there. They might hold off on that for a bit. All right, and then obviously they support Restart Rugby. As always, Black Lives Matter on this podcast. There is no room for racism. There is an interesting development in the Washington football team case where Gruden. So here's the funny thing about this. He hasn't even denied that he did it. What he's saying is he was targeted. I'm like, so you're not denying any wrongdoing. What you're saying is the NFL singled you out. While that might be true, it doesn't make you any less of an asshole. So
no, but if he's gonna do the scorched earth, I'm dragging everyone down with me. God fucking bless him.
Well, that's fine too. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like
that's okay.
This guy. Cool. Name all the names so we know who the dickheads are, please. But yeah, like come on, man.
I do also want to highlight during this BLM segment the freaking ridiculousness of our country that we're seeing in two different cases, in the Kyle Rittenhouse case and the Ahmaud Arbery lynching case. That we have these two things going on in our country, and really, first off, we're seeing the judge in the Rittenhouse case, like, holy shit, these are the kind of this is the people in charge of quote unquote justice in this country,
right?
Like basically treating the defendant who murdered people as if like he's his own son and like acting as defense almost. And it's sickening. And yeah, I haven't been paying attention too much to the Ahmaud Arbery thing because that better be a fucking slam dunk. But there is the lawyer there is saying we can't have black pastors in the courtroom because it makes people uncomfortable. It's like, well,
you can because that's your fucking problem, nobody else's.
Because I guess like Al Sharpton showed up and he's like, "Who's next? Jesse Jackson?" Blah blah blah. And I think Jesse Jackson showed up. I was like, "Okay, fuck you then." Like something like that. It's like, what the fuck? Like this is a civil rights case. These guys lynched a man and think that they're heroes. Like that's problematic. And now you're saying that it's wrong to have having black people in the courtroom makes them.
Dude, your face makes me uncomfortable. Shut up.
Right. So yeah, that's where we are as a country right now.
Yep, we're doing great. You're doing terrific. Fucking hell.
Thumbs up.
Fuck that. All right. Thank you to all our Patreons. Yes, we have a Patreon now. Go ahead and give us a little subscribe if you can. If you need to check it out, we do have a freebie on there. Maybe we'll drop our Ho 15 on that today for free, just for fun.
Oh, that would be fun.
Especially since we haven't posted for a little bit.
True.
So maybe we'll do that.
Our patrons might be upset with us for. Sorry, Alex.
We're TRM only, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
We are having fun with the Honor Nations thing, but yeah, not doing start sits on that biatch.
No.
Sorry. World Cup year only, man. Okay, news cycle. George Ford on the move.
All but confirmed. Like,
yeah,
even Sale are like they think he tweeted something out.
Right. They reported like they were like,
say it.
I think it's a in principle or something like that.
Yeah,
and
right.
Corbs did bring up a good point. Like, have the rules changed? Because they must have, because they've had AJ jump ship from Sale and go to Bristol, and now we've had Leicester lose Ford to Sale. So assuming that nobody's up to any funny business, yeah, I mean, wouldn't be the first time it's happened ever, but
yeah, it's just so foreign, literally, to me as an American, this whole business of you can sign someone else while they're under contract with another team, like,
because they're professionals. They don't see it as anything else,
I know, but it's just hysterical because it's like, could you imagine a football player, like an NFL player, signing with another football team mid-season? Like, could you imagine how fucking paranoid the coaching? Like,
that's because it's wank ball. That's why.
But they wouldn't do that in any other sport. I mean, it would be a trade in most sports, but still, like, it's still free agency. So it's odd. It's such we're such a.
They do it in footy too.
Yeah, they do. It's just not. I don't know. It's not something that we see in our professional sports. So it's just, to me, it's like, oh, there are rules about that now. Like, you could sign with someone mid-season, but it depends on when. Like, come on, man. Like, who gives a shit?
And that's always that has been the rule in both sports, as to my knowledge, is New Year, you're out of contract, no deal in place, you're free to go shop around. So quite the opposite of other places.
So it's just to hear, oh no, there are rules around it. Oh really? There are rules. Oh, okay, that must be serious.
Well, there are.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, listen, man. Remember, ours is fucking foreign to a lot of people, so you got to remember that too.
I know. Well, like ours, at least, like you used to be, and now they have, because there was so much tampering, they're relaxing those rules. But it used to be that, like, you couldn't talk to a player unless they were not under contract. Yeah. So that's really the big thing, is you, like, other teams can't even talk to you about a contract without, like, even if it's the off season and it's before the contract is expired, they can't talk to you at all. Yeah. And it's just kind of funny to see, like, oh no, they can talk to you whenever. Well, only at certain times during your last year, but not other times during your last year. Only at these specific times. It's like, does it really matter? You're in your last year. Like, you're out.
Mostly it just gives the team a small chance to get a deal done. That's all. That's all. I think that's the point of it. Okay. But hey, I will say, if you've signed somebody to a 3-year deal and you haven't got it done by the end of the second year, you're probably not going to get it done. Unfortunately,
I gotta say though, I'm excited to see Ford at Sale.
They might actually attack. That'd be nice.
But he's gonna need a lot of help out there, a lot more than they have. So I wonder.
Old friend Tui's there, but I don't know about anything beyond that. Yeah, honestly.
And he's like barely there. So
yeah,
as we noted last week.
Right. We'll see. Good luck. Have fun, George. Right. And then the bigger news is Rassie Erasmus suspended 2 months, no rugby activity whatsoever, and then no match day involvement with the Springboks until September, which is, some people are saying light, but really, I just hope it highlights how fucking bad this is. Like, it is bad, and like, you look at the stuff from Nick Berry,
bad, and it just got worse.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you look at the stuff from Nick Berry.
Yeah, you look at that. It was. And you listen, like him or love him, it doesn't matter. And I don't mind Nick Berry myself. And you can't do that. Like, can you imagine? Like, you know what happens to NFL coaches when they go in, when they go all in on a referee. Right. They find out the wazoo.
Right. And they do it knowing that they'll get fined out at the wazoo. Rassie went into this thing, I'm just going to do this and fuck you. You're not going to do anything to me. Yeah. And it's like, World Rugby had to come down on him.
Yeah. Because you can't do this. You can't have this stuff again. You can't.
It was like an 80-page report or something like that. And it's like,
really
they did their homework. Yeah. And they really got to they did a thorough job of it. Now, they could have done this quicker, but it would not have been anywhere near as thorough. And it
was bad.
Still, it happened within like a few months. It's not like this took forever. It's not like an insurrection where there's still nobody. Anyway, it's like, almost 12 months later. But no, this was like, just 2 or 3 months after the fact. They're already bringing the hammer down and they're doing the right thing and backing their people. And it's,
and they don't always
act this cynically. It wasn't, and they're right. Rassie acted in selfishly and against the values of the sport and against the welfare of the sport. This is bad. What Rassie has been doing, and what South Africa, as well as a federation, have been doing, has been terrible for rugby. Outside of that's everybody off the pitch. The people on the pitch, yeah, they're doing fine. They're doing a great job. They're fucking amazing. It's their fucking admin, their coaching, everyone else that's off the pitch that are just a bunch of massive cunts that are fucking with rugby, and rugby has to fight back, and it shouldn't have to come to this. Just shut the fuck up.
No, listen,
they're complaining in games they won that the refereeing and then blah blah blah. It's like that. No, fuck you. Like,
unfortunately, and there's still people that are out there commenting about how Nick Barry. I saw one helmeted tweet about saying, but basically Nick Barry was compromising the integrity of the game. I was like, really? Was he? I don't know, man. I think he was just calling the game.
Right.
Pretty sure he was just calling the game, and whether or not Rassie liked it is a different story. And I'll bitch about referees here and there and everywhere, but I'm also not a fucking head coach, and I'm not a head coach of a tier 1 nation that's the defending World Cup champs either. So the difference between me and Rassie is quite different. So, and also, if I were in that position, here's a small example. In my 4 or 5 years I've had so far as a coach in high school, I've said something to the referee society once. It was an email. And it was 99% about safety and 1% about the guy being out of shape. Like,
you didn't make an hour-long video for public distribution.
It was about 6 sentences, maybe less, and pretty to the point. And they said, "Thanks, we will. We're probably going to pull him." I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks," because I don't do it. I don't like. That's something I really pride myself on. I'm not going to go to the referee society and bitch when I don't like the result. I didn't like the result at the time, but that wasn't my concern. My concern was I had 4 kids with concussions, all of which got high tackled. So, and none of them got carded. Nobody else got carded. So I was like, that's not great. We need to knock that off. So just listen, you're going to not like referees. It's a fact of life. Just coach your team to play the way that the referee is likely going to referee. You know what the French are going to do. You know what your Staffers are going to do. You know what the English are going to do. You know what the Kiwis are going to do. It's not a new thing. Just fucking coach them the way you need. You need to. Okay, that's just how it is, man.
Right.
I understand that, but shit.
Like, yes, if you want to complain that World Rugby doesn't codify that way, do it that way. But you don't he just made it all about him,
Nick Barry,
and well, he made it all about South Africa.
Oh, true.
It wasn't about the referees were everything was like everyone's against us. This is why this is wrong. This is why the refereeing sucks because they call stuff against us. And it's like that's not how you do it.
It's hard to have a victim mentality when you're the defending World Cup champions.
Right. Like, shut the fuck up. You're doing fine.
I'm at a loss here for that one.
And it's pretty bad now that I'm just like, I don't want, even when they were, at worst they had been foils, I'd say. Now it's like, no, you guys are just dicks. I hope you lose. Like, stop being dicks.
Let's just kind of, let Twickenham ascend this coming weekend and into the heavens, and we'll forget that match ever happens.
Right.
There's a lot not to like about that one too. Shit, man. Do better. All right, now the fun part. We are going to do a hose 15. So these are, I don't know what anybody else calls them. I always know is we call them horse, and that might not be the politically correct term, but that is what we call them.
So if I can go into my estimation of rugby horse, Jared, how many teams have you played? How many jerseys have you put on for clubs?
1, 2, 3. There's been at least. I played college, high school, and men's. I've played for 2 different men's clubs at that, and then probably about 4 to 5 additional jerseys on top of that.
Yeah.
So,
because I was thinking I've played. I've been a part of 3 clubs, and I have whored out for so many others back when I was in my younger days. I've probably worn maybe 10 other jerseys, if I'm being honest, which is like, it's always been a goal of mine to play with as many teams, to whore out on as many teams as possible. You go to I'm long past those days, but you go to a tournament just because, like, yeah, I'll find a team, no big deal.
Right. Sometimes you do that.
Yeah. And there's something to be said for someone who just likes, hoeing around and playing on a bunch of teams. And because that's, again, it's all about the rugby community. So this is why I came up with this idea, because it was like, okay, who's the best, who are your favorite, what's your rugby whore 15 guys who play all over the place, and but you want them on your team.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Let's start with loose head.
For me, it's a tight head. I'm going two tight head props.
Well, yeah, you had two. You just had two props and threw it in there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, plus tight head's the only real prop.
Says you.
Kind of prop.
Well, I have a loose head that I think most England fans will be pretty happy with, and that's Andrew Sheridan. The guy is, and the funny thing is, the guy is still a brick shithouse right now, like to this day, because he does powerlifting. And like, you rewind to 2007, was a semifinal quarterfinal against Australia, and by far that Australia team should have beat them, but he scrummaged the shit out of them and put them on their ass. And really, I mean, obviously the whole England pack, but everybody credits Sheridan quite highly with it. So yeah, he's been around. He clubs in France, clubs in England, obviously. So yeah, he got around. Yeah, he's a folk hero for some.
So my number one, again, who's a tight head. I'm conceding that, but again, whatever, suck it. He played for 4 clubs during his professional career. And in Italy, in England, and then went on to France. And legendary hair for a prop, because you got to have good prop hair. So my number one is Martin Castrogiovanni.
Yeah, that was a good one. I had him in my head. I was like, yeah, I picked him a few times. So for other things, so I was like, all right, I'll let him pass this time.
I'm taking him here. Yep.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Number 2 is a guy that still plays, although he doesn't play for his country anymore. Is Gus Creevy.
He's my number 2 as well.
Nice. Yeah. That dude's seen quite a few jerseys in his day, I would say.
Yes,
that.
He has.
He's worth that 2 jersey every time as well. So that's kind of the fun part in many, many ways.
Now, I wish I could remember who he replaced for my team, but because I had somebody else before putting him in, but can't remember. So
got me beat.
Yeah,
got me beat. All right, my true tight head is guy actually plays for Leinster right now, Michael Alatoa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, he's been on a few teams, hasn't he? And I checked. I'm like, yep, he's been in Australia. He's been obviously in New Zealand with the Crusaders. Now he's in Leinster. I think he even did a stint in Japan. So yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. My tight head is he's so good at tight headery that he can coach it extremely well too with Harlequins. So and he played all over the place for Ospreys to Cardiff and off to Quins he's coaching with them now. And so Adam Jones is my tight head.
That's a great one. I love it
because he's a true rugby. He's the kind of guy
he is a character as well. Yeah. He is quite the character. Yeah, right. I love it. All right, engine room. So I got some really tall fuckers in this one.
Okay.
I have a guy that is a personal favorite of mine, although he's definitely coming to the end of his career, and that's Leone Nakarawa.
Okay, good one.
Yeah, he's been around. He's obviously he's been at Glasgow. He's now over at Ulster. He's been in France. Like, yeah, been a few places, and still a pretty damn good player. So I'll give it to him.
My number 4, my first lock is someone who is such a whore that he didn't even stick with Union. And has literally, I think he might still be playing somewhere probably. Brad Thorne.
Oh God. Yeah.
He played
there you go.
all over the place.
Jeez.
From Crusaders and Leinster and Highlanders, Leicester. Like,
right.
Yeah, that's a well-traveled rugby player right there. Yeah. And even played a little bit with he coached with the Reds.
He's coaching the Reds now, so
yeah.
I say if he jumped shipped over there, that'd be interesting. Yeah, he has gone over that way, but not to play Union.
Right.
All right. My other lock is a fan favorite of many people that like the Saracens, and that is Big Willie Skelton.
Yes. He was on my list, to be replaced by Brad Thorne. So yes, absolutely. Yes. Willie Skelts.
Been around.
I'm going with a Safa for my other lock. And he is a kind of a hate the face kind of guy, but damn, if you can't appreciate the game he had. Victor Matfield.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I've named him on a couple of my teams too. Yeah, line out master, and just an absolute nightmare for teams when it comes to that stuff. So yes, I approve of the Victors. All right, back row. I got this guy's a banger, and he just called it quits, I believe, after the Champions Cup final last year, and that is Jerome Kano.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, a stint in Japan, obviously down in New Zealand as well. Played for one or two teams down there even, and then obviously polished off a pretty damn good career with Toulouse.
And I'm going for my 6. He's kind of out of position here, but I know he could slot in there too at times. Frenchman, one of my favorite players of all time, if not my favorite player of all time, and I will always name him when I get a chance to, and that of course is the one, the only Sébastien Chabal.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah,
Bourgeon, Sale, Racing, and Lyon. That's a fairly well traveled individual.
You got a few jerseys on that wall, no doubt.
Yeah. Yep.
No doubt. Next one is a hometown favorite, and I say hometown being the United States. The well-traveled and Captain America himself, Todd Clever.
Hi, he's my number 8.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. I was like, oh, Clever's played for like a billion clubs. He totally qualifies for this.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, no, he's in there. He's an easy 8 for me.
Nice.
My other flank is I'm gonna avoid the off-field stuff, but it's Stefan Armitage.
Yeah.
Good Lord, what a freaking brick shit house of a.
I mean, he was an athlete. Like, what could have been with that guy?
Right.
What could have been? So you got your 8 as Todd Clever. Mine is a guy that had a brief stint in England, which was weird for him, much like Chabal. Louis Picamol. Yeah. Been around a few clubs. Obviously had in France, but also had his little stint in Northampton, which put him back on the map because it wasn't happening for him in France. So fresh patch of grass and things came good for him. So good for him. And I thought that was a nice little resurrection for his career when he went there. And obviously now he's kind of going the other direction, rightfully so. France are fading him out, but was good in his time.
Yes, obviously.
He was quite good. And then you're Clever. Halfback. Fan favorite of you and me. One Kobus Reinach.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a very good one. I went with Peter Stringer.
I like that one. Yeah, that's a great one. Man, yeah,
he jumped all over the place.
And you know what? He always put in great performances too. So that's a good one too. Hadn't even thought of that one. I love that one. Really like that one. Okay. 10. It feels like there's 10s all over the place I could possibly play.
Yes,
here.
There absolutely were. So I still have no shame with this one though.
Yeah. This guy has seen it all, I swear, and he's still ticking. The old man, Jimmy Gopperth.
Oh, that's a fun one. Okay.
He has been everywhere.
That's a fun one.
He has been everywhere. And he's still pretty good for 38, 39 now. Yeah.
Something like that. Jeez.
Pretty good. Give it to him.
Yeah. Mine it stretches it doesn't really, because he played for in New Zealand, France, and then went to Japan. But he played a couple places around in that. So he still bumped around to 4 or 5 clubs. Dan Carter. Yeah,
no, I had him in my head. I was like, you know what, Jimmy's seen the world. We're gonna do that.
Yeah, it's a little too easy to pick him there, but at the same time,
oh, he's worth it. Always worth that 10 shirt. 11. This guy, he's always been super talented, and he has seen a few things with England, and he's got a couple of Champions Cup titles to his belt. Chris Ashton.
Okay. He's my
11.
14.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got him at 11, but just the same.
Right. So
Seen it all over.
I'll hold off then. I'll go to my center. Because I'm sure you have him too. But my 12 is Ma'anonu.
Ta-da! Same. Just re-signed for San Diego Legion.
Yeah.
But wait, are they coming here or are we going there?
I don't remember.
Fuck. All right, I have to find that out in a minute. I'll find that out when
I'm sure it has a really kick-ass poster for it. That's all I know.
Yeah. If they're coming here, I hope he's healthy.
My 13 is still playing. Not only that, but he's still kind of rising in a way. He's coming to his own, and he may still be peaking yet. You never know. He keeps somewhat fading, or somewhat leveling, and somewhat keep going up. But Gail Fiku.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, he's. Somebody said it last week, like wildly underrated in that French team, especially for his defensive prowess. Like, definitely runs that. Belongs nowhere near the wing, but
no, as a 13 though, I'll take it.
Yeah, sign me up for that. So that's good. Mine's not playing, but only because he's injured currently. But man, everybody's waiting with bated breath for him to return, and that's Semi Radradra.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Yeah. So everybody's looking forward to that one to come back. So I got like freaking 3 Fijians in my team, don't I? Yeah, I do. That's all right. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. So my other wing, so my 11, is he's just fucking good, and he's been playing. He's retired now, but still very much within the rugby community and played everywhere. And also changed his game as his career went on to be much more physical and much more of an imposing threat, not just the a back runner out in the space. But Brian Habana, just
is a good
all-timer.
That's a great one. That is a great one. Yeah, I'll give you that one for sure. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely one of the best ever. I would definitely credit that to him. Mine is still my other wing is still active, and I think he's on like his 4th club at least, and it's Nemani Nadolo.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, large human that still runs like the wind.
I want him on my team if at all possible.
yeah.
Not against me.
Please tell me you're going to wear this shirt and not the other shirt, please.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. 15. My 15 is still active, and is actually a teammate of your 13.
Oh, so yeah, mine too.
Okay.
Charles Piatal.
Charles Piatal.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a great one, because I know he's seen a few clubs, and obviously he's absolutely fantastic. So between the two of them, and really, I as far as his eligibility for the World Cup's sake, I do hope he gets to switch his allegiance. So that'll be really awesome.
Agreed.
For Tonga. So that'll be great. Yeah, and we saw that there's definitely some bones there for Tonga the other week, but definitely needs some playmakers, and he would be a huge addition to that team.
A little bit. Well, all right. He'd be okay.
I think most people are rooting for that one right there. So there we have it, 15. So we got a couple matches. We had Gus. You had Clever. I had Clever. We both had Nanu. We both had Piatal.
Yeah.
Oh, we both had Ashy too, just different spots.
Oh, Ashton. Yep.
So, all right. So we at least we have similar brains, which is terrifying at the same time. All right, let's go to some international roundup. Scotland, South Africa. Just you mentioned it, and I am inclined to agree. Just Finn did everything he possibly could for Scotland, but fuck, they were not helping him.
His centers were nowhere to be found. He would look over, he'd get the ball and look out, and they're all kind of just hanging back. Like,
it's not to say he has bad centers either. Like Matt Scott and Chris Harris are not bad centers by any means whatsoever. So
but I didn't feel like
you got to wonder what the hell's going on.
Line and giving him options, and so he had to that's why he's like, all right, well, I guess I'm kicking, because it's like there was nowhere else for him to go, and nobody really was in position to support. Everybody was stagnant, and it's like that's not the game Finn plays. He's he wants to pass that ball down the line. and get it moving rather than pass it backwards, and especially to a stagnant line runner. That's not helpful when you're the back. You want to be moving a little bit.
Nope, not very helpful at all.
And like Duhan had to bail him out a couple times. Well, that one, the one that led to the hard try was.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's special.
Duhan had to bail him out because the centers were fucking nowhere to be found. So that kind of sucks when you don't really. And who played 14 for Scotland?
Oh God, I remember seeing him. I'm like, what the fuck has he done all day?
I mean, no, that's what I mean. Like, did it? Was there a 14 on the field? Because I couldn't have told you.
Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, Rufus McLean was just a ghost. Nobody. Blair Kinghorn should have been in that match. No word, Joe. That was a poor decision on.
I remember when Kinghorn came in, it was like, oh, there's another wing in there.
that's the other wing. Where's the other guy been? Yeah, it was bad. And it was. They had their moments, but at the same time, like just. The South Africans dominated them in a lot of key areas, including that scrummage, which Xander Fagerson did not have a prayer in, unfortunately. That's just how it is.
He was boned.
You have two world-class tight head props.
Yeah.
and loose head props, and there's really no relief coming. So it's like, you hope the second guy coming on is going to suck. Yep. No. Sorry. He's going to be just as good.
It's one of those like, oh, thank God they're taking this guy out. Oh, fuck. Look who's coming in.
Fuck a duck. Here comes the next guy. Oh, man. Yeah. Freaking Ox, that whole prop regime group that they have currently right now with Kitsoff, Cock, Ox, and Inyakanya, just like, oh. And then the options that could be in the wings with the likes of like Wilco Lowe is terrible.
Yeah. I know it's like there's a reason that Wilco Lowe is not on that team. I get it,
right.
But
Malherbe is hurt right now as well, so it's like, ooh, there's still more in the reserves, which is terrifying. It's absolutely shocking. What does Willie LaRue do for South Africa? Can somebody clarify that for me? I'm still lost in it. Like he continues to be picked and continues to do absolute dog shit. Like. Meters kicked is about the only thing he's good at. Like other than that, I could give a fuck.
Yeah, it's not like I don't understand what benefit he provides. Does he is kind of a little bit of I don't even know. He's not like a bomb diffuser, even like a Liam Williams is. Mm-hmm. That like, if he doesn't give you an attacking option, he still gives you this. Like he will not let a kick, drop, and he won't, like he'll do it under pressure. He'll fearless on that. No, he's just kind of back there. Like, does he direct a defense? At that level,
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. What the drop off from one fullback to another is, but I mean
if
I just
Fran Stain could
on the match,
right? Yeah, if Fran Stain could last a little bit longer, he's a little bit on the wrong side of although he's obviously still been a monster forever, but if he could last for 45
he's on the wrong
minutes,
side of 230 right now.
Right, he's a big boy too. But he fucking still has a boot.
He does.
My lord,
he does. Well, he put up 110 kilos behind it.
He definitely did, and I think he needed all of them, but it worked. I'm not mad about it. If I was him, no way, man. Oh shit! All right, so that sets up a big one this weekend for.
You like how I did that? The multi-unit thing there.
Yeah.
So just realized that maybe the abroad people might not realize what I meant by 230. So
the pounds,
right?
kgs, half that, about half that in kgs.
A little too many.
Yeah, careful with that one. 230 kgs might be a problem as a fullback.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I was going poundage there, and then the 110 for the.
Yeah, that one. All right. So that sets up a big one this weekend at Twickenham. So did you tuck into Italy, Argentina at all?
No.
Yeah, wasn't a whole. I mean, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy there. I think the Kramer try, which was the first one of the match, was pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. More of the same from Italy, unfortunately. Just not able to execute at key times. Really, it was a problem. Very Worcester-esque.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Not great. Not a great thing to be compared to.
No, and Marco got hurt.
Yeah,
That's actually one of the reasons why I'm not watching it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, it was a bad step, and he, as he's going down, he's grabbing for it. I'm like, oh, that's not great at all.
Son of a
sad, very sad. All right, so let's run over to the big one at the Aviva, and it was
what one at the where?
The
which teams?
Yeah, Ireland and the All Blacks. And
they played.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
I wasn't aware.
Don't tell the Irish that. If so, there's a few things that they definitely did right for the Irish, and the Kiwis didn't play their best match by any means whatsoever. But their kick chase was phenomenal. Gibson Park was on point with his box kicks most of the day. When they didn't have the ball, they were very good in defense. And they starved New Zealand of that ball. And yes, we saw how fast New Zealand can hit you. They had 2 quick hitting tries and almost had a third.
Right.
Yeah. But this is very much a blueprint you can use for them. Don't miss your tackles. And even when you don't,
right.
You just don't miss your assignments. Tag for a long, Ronan Kelleher.
That was bad.
Papa Lee, you saw that all day.
Right.
Like, thanks, guys.
Ty didn't even move, which made
he was stationary.
And I think that's because he knew it wasn't his guy. And that just did not go well.
And and in a lot of ways, the Kiwis were their own worst enemy because they had offsides and they had the late hits that was majority of their penalties. They had some 50-50 stuff, but that majority of the penalties were offsides and the late hits. Other than that, they could have, if they had gotten rid of those, they would have been fine. But they didn't, and that's that. And they were certainly making Ireland work hard in that breakdown because they were going after every ball. Just about. It's what they do. But man, they were just up in the ante every 5 seconds.
To me, my thoughts were Ireland played almost a they played a South Africa game plan. Which
in some ways,
to me, not and to me it's very different from the old Irish game plan of don't play with the ball. Ireland played with the ball. They threatened. But they also, as you said, just ate it up on defense. They're like, you will not get this ball over this line, whatever they could avoid it. We're making our tackles and we're going to, bring the physicality. It shows that you can, Ireland can do both. So, yeah.
You hope that they can do it more often.
And James Lowe,
slowly redeeming himself after this past spring.
I disagree with that. So I was very much on a James Lowe. I've been on a little bit of a pro James Lowe. My only anti James Lowe thing was that he went on the defensive and he suffered an attack. And I liked his post game shit about the y'all you stick it, or you what was it, you bollocks were giving me shit about my D. And it's his D has been fine. It's that his, in Six Nations I thought he played outstanding defensively, but he didn't do much in attack.
But it withdrew from his attack.
And here he played just as well defensively and scored a try. So that's hey, yes, haters, swing on James Lowe's nuts because
right. On knees.
He is he's looking like a worldie here.
Yeah, he's looking.
If he can keep up this type of standard in attack and defense. Yeah, this is what we Ireland were hoping for. And
absolutely,
that's what he was hoping for. So
I'm sure it was too as well. Yeah, and the Irish did play with a little bit of fire when they started kicking the ball back and forth with the Kiwis, because that is something that the Kiwis will eat up all day long. Now, they, for whatever reason, I think the fact that that New Zealand were so damn tired from playing so much fucking defense that they were like, "Fuck this! I don't want to run. I'm just going to send it back."
Yeah.
So in a way, that worked out. Again, that was another thing that worked out to their advantage by just holding onto the ball. And, they were camped in the other end, too. It's not like they were holding onto the ball at midfield and, threatening, possibly, playing with a little bit of luck. They were doing they were doing it in the right area. So that was the good. That was also the tough thing for New Zealand. So yeah, they had to play defense like demons for the first 40 by all means. And as soon as they were forced to play more defense for the first 10, 15 minutes of that second half, they were gassed. They were gassed.
I mean, they were gassed at the end at halftime. So
yeah,
that you don't see that.
Nope, not very often. I will say, fucking Alan Quinlan, who was the second chair, was pissing me off. He was talking about the Ian Henderson penalty and how that's not right. I'm like, no, actually, he was the tackler and he basically just stood up on the wrong side of the ball. So no, you can't do that. Yeah, you fucking idiot. And I'm trying to think what the other thing was. Oh, it was something about. I think it was something about the lippiness, and I was like, yeah, I'd say they're both pretty lippy right now. So don't get into it. There's one other thing that happened too, but either way, it doesn't matter. He was just being a fucking complete helmet either way. But yes, helmets come in all shapes and sizes. Just remember that.
And accents.
yes. England, Australia. Bit disappointing from the Aussies. This was tight going into halftime. And man, they just gave the ball away way too fucking much. The Wallabies did.
He did. And England brought on some more people who wanted to express themselves, and that was it. As soon as the England players started getting a little bit loose, it's like Australia started creaking, and then crunch. Yeah, there was just so much. Like I don't think either of the Australian locks had a good day. Neither Rodder nor Arnold. I was like, one of these guys needs to come off now. Tough day for James Slipper. He's playing tight head, which he's not used to, so that's not fun. Folau Fainga is one of the most useless hookers in international rugby. I don't understand the hype around him. He's not good. He works hard, yes, but everything else he sucks at. Like his decision making sucks. His line-out throwing is not that good. Like overrated like hell. Holy shit. Like pass. No, thank you. I will. Could do without him all day long. If I'm Australia, they need to find somebody not him. Like they called in Tolu Latu this weekend, and that wasn't great. Yeah. They need an answer, and it's not him. That's neither one of those guys, honestly. Stephen Moore come back.
Right? God, fucking, they might need him.
Yeah, I know.
Shit. But we did see Ollie Hoskins, which was so awesome in so many ways.
Yep. Yeah. I wish he had a little bit more opportunity to play well, but from a prop position, it's hard to make a bunch of tackles at that level with the type of attack that England were going with. So, and he didn't get the chance to run with the ball, which disappointed me.
No, then that's definitely something
that happens at a prop position. Sometimes you don't get the ball. It sucks. You deal with it.
It does. I gotta say, like, I see the 15 shirt in England, and if I am an England fan, you have no problems right now. That is your guy. Yep. Freddie Stewart has been awesome since this was it, because he's got 3 caps. He's got 1 against USA, he's got 1 against Canada, he's got 1 against Tonga. Neither one of those is a challenge. Like you should look decent at the very least, you know what I mean? And even if you don't, whatever, it's like you can sometimes underestimate those teams, and I get that. Yeah, right. That's down to your mental things, not your abilities or anything like that. But this was a good test. We'll see what he looks like after this weekend. But man, I would be excited if I was an England fan about that shirt right there, because he looks really good.
And same for Marcus Smith. With his, with the first look of Smith and Faz at 10 and 12. And I liked what I saw. Smith putting Stewart through for the try pretty early on. It doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt, but
doesn't hurt. No.
That's showing what they can do. That's, we haven't seen stuff like that though. And I'm not saying it's Smith's responsibility to make sure that it's Smith like wheeling and dealing. I think it's just that's not really Eddie's thing, and Ford is not going to do what Eddie doesn't want him to do ever. And that's why Smith's better. So and I will also say, in my opinion, just my opinion, that Alex Dombrandt and Sam Simmons did more per minute more in the limited opportunity that they got than the players they replaced.
Yeah.
It's such a difference when you can, again, just like we were talking about with James Lowe, when you can maintain the defensive strength and line and add attacking flair. I mean, when Don Brandt came in the first time for briefly, it was like that changed the game. That opened things up for the brief time he was in. And then, he comes back, and then of course Simmons comes on and puts Blimmer. Yeah, like fuck. Why wouldn't you have put him in earlier? The game, you had the game won pretty much, so they should have brought both of them on much earlier.
Somebody needs to tell Jamie Blumeyer he doesn't get to score every game. Just
hell, who's going to tell him that
right now? No. He's got what, 6
and 4 and
Good
1
Lord.
in each. So
and yeah, he's got at least one in every cheese him. I will say, for the lineup sake, and I'm not trying to shit on Courtney Laws. What I'm saying is, I could do without Charlie Ewells and an extra back. Especially and really, why the fuck Eddie had Max Malins and he decided to put Tui at 14.
Yeah,
really, they did a good job of hiding him. Teams are going to see more and more. Here's the thing. This is what he's going to do. He's going to keep trying it because it worked.
Yeah,
he's going to keep trying it because it worked.
More than anything, I'm wondering why Johnny Hill is out there.
Also,
why? Because he's a hole. So why wouldn't you just move Laws into 5? He can still do the same shit from 5 that he does at 6. And then now you have another speedy attacking / defensive, like you put Dom at 6.
Yeah. Or you can just put him at 8 where he belongs and slide Curry to the side, which makes obviously the most sense.
There's that too. But I'm, or if you wanted to have a Sam, Dom and Tom. Back row, which I kind of got a semi from that idea, but
yeah, that's a great idea.
you put Dom at 6 for that, and with Morrow and Courtney at lock. Fuck
yeah.
Now I got to change my pants.
Team. Yeah, you'd have a great team right there.
Please, and what does Hill give you that you don't want to do that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what he's adding these days. Like Lano wins, who really that's what you need him for.
Morrow does that, and
right?
So does Morrow and Courtney.
You've got every lock in England that can fucking do that. Like, come on, man. Let's go.
He's not been that great defensively, and then attacking, he's just this big fucking lumbering oaf, not doing anything.
Do.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Did you catch any of the game down in Bordeaux for the French? French against Georgia.
I caught the first half.
Yeah, and that was probably the best half.
Yeah, I was like, I saw where it was going, and I think that's when I don't remember what I had. Oh no, I had to go grocery shopping, and I was like, maybe I'll watch the second half later, and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch.
And then you realize you were like, never mind.
Yeah, I'm good.
Never mind about that.
I had to go. I had to be back for the what was it? The Wales match. So
yeah, that was
the one that if I'm gonna watch a half, if I'm gonna miss a half of one of the matches, it's gonna be the second half of France Georgia.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean Georgia fronted up fairly well for about 20 minutes, and then
certainly, but they were clearly outmatched. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, good effort for them. And I also think it's great that France decided to host this match elsewhere besides Stade de France. I thought so that helps get the game out there a little bit more for them. Right. Also, something I didn't mention before, Italy was at Treviso. It was not in Rome, which is something I think they should do more of and try and put it in the areas where rugby is popular. And yes, you still get a decent crowd at the Olympico, but man, I think if you put it in a slightly smaller stadium, in a more rugby mad area, you'll have a winner there, and fans will come out and they will rock. But yeah, just also that. But yeah, France gearing up for this weekend. They're going to be facing a wounded animal, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be very interesting, I would say. And then yes, we had Wales Wales, and Fiji. say. Was it? Are we sure about this? Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
It was good. It was. I mean, the jerseys kind of threw me off. So
I like that kit. I
think you could do without the green shorts. That's kind of weird. I think that's what threw me off.
It is kind of weird, but I like it for its uniqueness there. And it was a weekend of weird jerseys. Did you see University of Tennessee's football uniforms there? Fucking weird.
Not sure.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, no, it was like black and they still had the orange trim and all. So it was kind of cool, but unsettling. So yeah, I could see how Wales could be unsettling there with why don't you just wear red? That's what you do.
This is what you do. Yeah. This could have been. Could have
gone many different ways.
This could have been so much more.
But Fiji were just completely ill-disciplined. Completely.
Very, very.
And way too high shot. So I mean, it's kind of helpful for them to get a Southern Hemisphere referee like Nick Barry, who's going to go light on them for it. But at the same time, the ARs and the TMO are gonna.
Thankfully, they talked him into the right decision.
Yeah, that was a little. He was so willing to just move on, and it's like,
I'm not sure he realized what the tackle was. I'm not sure he realized what it was. I was like, no, that's not part of the tackle. That's him on the deck,
right?
And that's not good,
right?
So, but yeah, and I mean this is what we love about Fiji. They just have the freaking cojones to say we have 14. Okay, we're still going to do our thing from our own end.
Right. That was an amazing try. It was like two amazing tries, right? Yeah. One right after the other almost. With that. Yeah, that fuck.
They had 3 cards this weekend.
Yeah.
Fiji had 3 cards this weekend. Imagine if they had kept it to 1. Even if it was just the red.
Who got yellowed?
Maui and Tuisui.
Okay. Because I think, Maui earned that one. that was it.
Dope.
Because I feel like maybe it must not have been Tuisui, but I thought someone was like looking at a second yellow in one of the matches, so it must not have been this one. I can't remember which one it was. There was someone who was already on a yellow and acting a dick, and it's like, you dumbass.
Yeah, don't do that. No. Don't ever do that.
Okay, not these guys, but
not these guys.
Still, well, and. Louis
Go Reese Lightning. Woo. Good Lord. Man, he's fun.
If I can go through my mentality, my mental inner monologue through that.
During that.
He chipped it. Oh, well, that's an interesting idea, but these two guys are in such better position that, okay, well, look, I appreciate the effort, and he kind of got fucked out of a try. Wait a minute. Wait, he's beaten the 1. Okay, cool. Hey, he's beaten the 1. No, he's made. Holy fuck, he scored! Like, it really went it really kicked up a notch. Like, there was no way. He had no business. No business beating one of those defenders, let alone both of them.
Yeah, no way. It was it was just class.
You don't. That's not fair. That's like he had extra gears, literally, that they don't that the opponents will not have. Yeah,
no, definitely not.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with him there.
Yeah, quite good.
Very good. And I really liked actually this particular back 3.
That was pretty good. That was a
worked
nice
out really well.
There.
I'm sad that we didn't get to see Adams out there at 13. But is that like the 4 of them out there? Yes, please.
That had potential big time.
But either way, Cuthbert had a day. Liam Williams was man of the match with it and had a try of his own.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of good too.
Very good. Very exciting.
Very good stuff. All right. Let's run along here. Ireland and US on Friday night. Better stuff from the US, honestly. Yeah, was it the Cairns try? But first of all, man, I hope Rachel Johnson is doing all right, because that looked bad.
They should have taken her out the first. So she's been playing a lot, and I really.
Yeah, she's played. Her and KZ have played all 3 matches almost fully.
Yeah.
So that's pretty terrifying.
Right. And I was like, so the first time she like needed a strapping, it's like, no, just take her out. Like this is
right.
Yeah. And then obviously they didn't. And then who knows what's happening now. So yeah, I wish her the best. Hope she's
I was
okay.
looking for it. Yeah, I popped her a message and she was pretty appreciative of it, but no news on it right now. But it looked pretty bad. It looked like the thing you don't want it to be.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, hopefully she's all right. But much better from the US. And hey, listen, good on Ireland for getting this done. Like they've had so much shit thrown their way undeservedly. You know,
they've been dealing with a lot, so it does suck for the US that they had to play against this team. I think if they played against most other teams, you know, if they played on Ireland on any other weekend, they could have won with that effort that the US put in. But between that and the props of just propping over the line and shit, I don't have the lineup in front of me, so I can't recall the props name who's retiring.
Lions. Or no, Pete, excuse me.
Yeah. That's just, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you got that on
a prop on a farewell match, and then, you know, backs it up with a try. That's you're not winning that match. Man. You're not winning that match. That's just that's the way things go. So yeah, a little bit better. And the lineouts were better. We bitched about the one, but then they showed
Hampton did way better than anybody had done up to this point. So
they missed like one. So,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
far better. Yeah, much better. And then was it the second try that was just a piece of work? And Parsons' try was awesome. Parsons was, which was the first one, but for Ireland, but I think it was the first one. Doesn't matter. It was
the second was I think the
first was awesome. Anyway, was it the Karen's try that was just all the offloads? I was like, that was magic. That Fantastic. Was so great. I was like, that's the good stuff right there, man.
Right. That shows what
they can do. After that one. That was really good.
That's because the offloads and the willingness to, both of us, I try to say as coaches, is like, know when your turn is over and when someone else's turn begins. And it's like, they got that every single time. I'm not breaking this tackle, so I'm just going to look for the offload. That's been their biggest problem with it, is they don't look for it, and they fucking look for it there. So a lot of good shit went on there.
Much more. Much more. That was much more enjoyable than those Canadian matches. Thank you. Much better. Did you catch any of the match in POW, France and New Zealand?
That was a fucking ridiculous match.
Yeah.
France were unbelievable. That, we talked about the Eagles worldy. France.
Oh yeah. Banana.
Just absolutely bananas. Like, it had everything. It had the throwing the ball around. It had the defense knocking it backwards, and then the attacks like slapping it backwards to retain it.
Just trying to hold on to it, yeah.
And then the kick, the crossfield kick to space.
It was like, no, that's not it. Okay, never mind.
It just floats for her. Like, that kick was beautifully weighted. It just floated out there for the wing, just to
perfect.
Run underneath it and just pluck, not catch it, just pluck it out of the air.
Right.
And score on a completely open field. That whole half of the field was wide open.
Yeah. Man, that was
fantastic. Good. That's rugby right there.
That's the great stuff. And
like, if you can, I'd like to see those fucking knobs on the Twitters talking shit about women's rugby. Talk shit about those 2 tries right there.
Right.
For the Eagles and for for France. Like, no, shut up. It's fucking exciting.
Don't want to hear your shit.
Yeah, and if you didn't see these matches, go find them. They were excellent matches.
They were good matches, yeah. And I was rather enjoying this one. We did not get to see a whole lot of Pooja because she had to come off, and she looked very unhappy about it at that.
Yeah,
but Jacquet was really good.
She was
in her stead, and this wasn't her first, but she's only got a couple caps, I think. So
Didn't look like it. Looked like she'd been around.
Yeah, and capped it off with a try as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
really good stuff from the French. And this is, and they brought it off on the broadcast. Like, this is what happens when you have the monumental shift that you've had in women's rugby in probably the past 3 years, and you're out of it for 2 of them because New Zealand haven't had any competition, and that sucks. And really, if you look at the U.S., hasn't had a whole lot either. So both, all 3, you could probably say New Zealand, Canada, and the U.S. are really just kind of knocking the rust off in a lot of ways. So in New Zealand are blooding players right now because they know they're going to need to backfill some stuff. And is this the ideal time? Hell no, it's not the ideal time. Is it better than doing it in 6 months from now? Yes. So the best time to do it was 6 months ago. The second best time is now. So, they're doing what they have to. But Ponce was the new cap up, the 13th cap on this tour. Apparently, Ponsonby, she was actually quite good with their throws. So if she can fill out the rest of what they need at that 2 spot, I'd say it's hers to lose. I'd give her a shot at least this weekend. They got to obviously play France once again. I'd give her a shot as a start because we talked about the titanic issues that they've had with their throwing for their lineouts. Like every time they're like, do we want to go for a lineout or do we want to go for a quick tap? They're like, quick tap because our lineout sucks. It's really annoying when you have to go with that. So hopefully that is their answer right there for their sake, at least, because we don't want to see the world champs show up to the World Cup next year and just put in a poo.
I think they'll be okay.
And I don't think they will either. By no means am I saying that's what's going to happen because these women they'll play this one more match. Hopefully they'll scrape together a win. It'd be nice for them to not have to go home on a duck. And then they're going to go play their new competition down there. And then that'll gear them up for, their camps in the lead up. And I think that'll make them better than what we've seen in the last, 2-3 weeks. So keep the fingers crossed at least. And then England and Canada at the Stoop, and Canada came to play for a little bit.
I didn't see any of this match.
Oh man, they came to play for a little bit. They they talked about it, and I was like, oh, I don't think that's happened yet. Canadian scrum was just shithousing the English for a little while. Wow. Yeah, they were backing them up, and again, I don't think England were ready for it because the last couple of weeks they played a Kiwi team that's not been really scrum ready. So they've just been shit. They were just shithousing them. Canada said, no, not today. We will back you up. And it was really, it was much better. Obviously the England eventually ran away with this. But
I saw the highlights. I did have a thought about the highlights though.
There was some good stuff and couple more dynamite tries to go with it. So it was really good. This is, people talk about why Canadian rugby, for the women at least, because it's the only one they got right now anyway. What they've done for the game, and that they are definitely a big part of the equation when it comes to the top teams in the world. And at least for 40 minutes after only being 2 matches into returning to play, pretty good against one of the best team in the world. Not too bad, guys.
Right. What I wanted to mention was, from the highlights, saw the Sarah Byrne try.
Good too.
Who's the other one? There was the Alex Matthews try.
Yep, that was a good one.
And the 9, was it Leanne Riley?
It was. McDonald.
Okay, Claudia McDonald. Yeah. So I just saw them. For some reason, they all ended up on my Twitter feed, one after the other. And I could see I watched all of them, and it was crazy because they're almost the exact same play each time. And there's just subtle variations that are done between, there's basically 4 players that are involved. And just each time they run a slightly different line. 2 of them, it was the scrum half pass out to the second receiver in that line. And one of them was the scrum half just taking it herself And that was like after a DSP kind of thing. Or no, it was a blockers with the scrum half. So the inside runner came on a blockers line or outside, and the scrum half kind of went on a line, or I guess it was a fly half at that point, where the position she was in.
Right.
And then she just took it, it was like a 2-on-1 that she just took the inside line and ran it through. So it's like the other time it was the second receiver came on an inside line. So it could have been either the two receivers on the outside or the switch back inside. And then the other time it was, they were looking for out the back. And each time the defense did just something, obviously they showed the defense a different look and just spotted the gap and used it. It's just amazing that you can that much versatility with just 4 players and just fuck up a defense for 3 tries.
Yeah. You can get them all in all kinds of 6s and 7s. So
and to me, that's what I fucking love about rugby is it's like it's the variations on a theme. If you can get your team to do those, just those 3 kind of things and just pick the right, the gaps are there. Now did you pick the right one? And fucking England did.
Yes,
that's for damn sure.
Yes, it did. Okay. A subject that's been mulling over in my head, and I think it's been mulling over in yours for a little while. And then we'll close it out. And there's challenges that face us here in the US for a women's game that most countries don't face that. And the biggest one to me is geography.
Yep.
Because getting from A to B for a match is a bitch. Like simple as that. Like,
yes, it is.
You and I have faced it ourselves, and you saw it even in your coaching. Like getting to your nearest opponent is a fucking long hike, which is what most people see as the longest trip of the year. That's our shortest, so that's a problem in a lot of ways. That being the big glaring elephant in the room.
Yeah. Well, like in the Boston area, there are the two top women's programs or clubs are Boston Women and Beantown, and they formed the same year. And they formed the same year so that they had somebody to fucking play.
Right.
Okay, we're going to make these 2 teams. So we can at least have someone to play. Because you get outside, there's a couple others in the area. No, I'm not saying there aren't, but they're all at different levels. But then you have to go down to Providence, or out to Albany, or, and that's fucking far.
Right. And then you look at like the high end stuff, like Atlanta.
Right. Yeah.
New York.
Yep.
Fucking, down to your neck of the woods. Yeah. Like, damn.
Philly women are doing all right. Yeah. There's a couple but it's like still the same idea. It might be actually easier in like the Philly area because you can travel down to Baltimore or in DC and New York kind of easily. Up here, it's like there's nowhere else to go. You have to go south and you have to go far.
Yeah.
So to get a women's professional, really professionalize it. I mean, it's got to be the goal, but it's going to take it's going to take a lot of investment.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of planning. Really, in my head, I have, not unlike the league that we don't speak of that used to be here for the men, that dipstick started. Start with a few teams, 5, maybe 6. And you're going to have to kind of close off one part of the country to travel. And that's just how you're not going to be able to include one part of the country for a little while.
Right.
That's just facts. Like when they did that, Ohio was the team furthest east. Like they were like, we're going to try and condense the travel. They had 3 California teams, a Denver team. And so, and it was a Utah team, I think too. And that in a lot of ways makes sense for that. If you want to start this, don't do what he did and not pay people.
Right.
But I think if you're looking at it, you're those are going to be the logistics problems, but pick an area, honestly. And I know everybody's going to fight tooth and nail. And if you want to do 2 leagues that are divided down the middle in the United States, that makes sense.
I think I would, do it baseball style, like National American League. I mean, old school baseball style. Sorry for those people who only know interleague play. Some of us remember a time when the 2 leagues were separate.
Yeah,
completely.
They
never met. They only played in the All-Star game and the World Series. That was it. And preseason, but whatever, that doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
These teams would never play each other except for that championship. So do that if you have to for the first little bit,
Right.
have like a California league and then an East Coast league where it's literally like, as I said, you do maybe Boston, unfortunately, but definitely
Mm-hmm.
New York, Philly, Baltimore, DC. There's your 4 teams.
Right.
And
Cut down the travel.
And it's super easy. They're all a day travel.
Yeah, and that's way more doable. You don't, to send these players on a plane for 3 hours on a weekend in a semi-professional league, because it'll start as a semi-professional league. Let's just be real about this. That's how it goes. I mean, even England's not fully professional. They've been doing this for a little while now. Start at that type of thing, and you ask, it's funny because people were just like, well, why wouldn't you want to do it all the way over? And I was just like, you can ask the people that have come over for the MLR, and when the MLS first started, like, ask them, what's the biggest difference? I said, fucking hell, it's the travel.
Right.
Like, it takes it out of you.
Like, you talk about, like, it's honestly, it's hilarious to me that when people talk about how, the trip up to Newcastle or
which is their furthest trip in England. Yeah.
Right.
Usually.
Oh, that's hard. It's like, that's fucking New Jersey. Shut up.
Nobody wants to go to New Jersey though.
Right. I have driven the length of New Jersey more than once. A day. More than
like,
it's not that big a fucking deal. Quit your moaning. It's not that far.
Shut up and put some dirt on it.
Right. Like, I've given you, fuck, if you don't, we've traveled, like, I'm that baffled by it. It's like, it's not, it's not that, try travel into like DC and then play it. It's not easy.
It's not fun. Yeah. To DC, to Atlanta, to Dallas. Those are the ones that come off the top of my head that our clubs had to travel for. So
we go out to, you go out to, even for like Lake Placid for Can-Am.
Yeah.
And you go over Friday night. You go the night before. It's like you start the night before, and then you take Friday off. You take Monday off, because
definitely
you're gonna need Monday to drive back. You don't want to drive back Sunday.
No.
Like it's you travel. It's a much bigger deal here in the U.S.
Yeah,
so it's also why it's like when they talk about the international, like, Ireland players, if you're playing in France, that you can't play for the national. It's like, bitch, that's like
that's nothing.
25-minute plane flight. Shut up.
That's nothing, man. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Yeah, so it's the problem that faces us as far as that goes, because and the other unfortunate facts is, and God, if I win if I win the Powerball, I'll fucking do it all day. But the unfortunate fact is, like, I think finding investors will be easier than it used to be, but it's still going to be hard for this league. And that's the really shitty thing about it.
Yeah.
It'll be easier than it was probably 7-8 years ago, but it will still be hard. And that sucks. As previously stated, if I win the lottery, here we go. Spend wisely. Don't be stupid. Thank you. Oh yeah. I got to pay off my credit card and student loans though.
You both, depending on the size.
I mean, depending on the size of the hit, definitely might be able to do both. Oh shit. Okay. Well, I think we covered some good material in this one. No fantasy corner this week, as I'm sure many of you are super disappointed. What's that?
No fantasy rugby this week. So
no, I mean, we do have our automations link. So if you're in it, then we'll talk about it at the end. Though we're not going to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
But we will be back next week, and next week we will be restarting the fantasy corner as well. So
nice.
that'll be fun. It's also a holiday here next week, so
it is.
We're gonna have to sort that whole shit out. But that's not a big deal for you guys. It's more of a deal for Ben and I. But just FYI, if it looks a little funny, that's why. But until then, fantasy rugby podcast at gmail.com. Send comments, questions, all that good stuff. Tweet at Ben or I. Other than that, we will catch you guys next week. And thanks a lot for coming along, everybody.
Later.
Cheers.